In the 17th century, when Galileo discovered that the Earth turned around the Sun rather than the other way around, many people were in a state of great shock. They had thus far believed that humans were at the center of the cosmos, and around this idea they had built their whole belief system. Suddenly, this did not seem to be the case anymore. Foucault's theory can be clarified by pointing out that, in relation to culture, he takes a sort of Galileo-type standpoint. Since the time of Galileo, people have thought that when it came to culture and society, humans were at the center. After all, it is they who created these. Foucault denies this. It is not the subject that counts to culture, he argues, but the structure, the universal. Something that is in itself already understandable. If one realizes that the rules according to which mankind behaves, for the largest part, were already invented long before one was born, and the name of the inventor remains completely unknown to us. One can compare Foucault to Galileo, but from another perspective, one can also compare Chomsky to Galileo, because his work in the science of language, linguistics, has had a great revolutionary influence over the whole world. Chomsky has brought about a major transformation in the field of linguistics. Interestingly, Chomsky's theories point in the exact opposite direction as the theories of Foucault. Chomsky gives much more primacy to the subject. In the confrontation between these two completely different thinkers, it is moreover good to remember that they work in very different fields. Foucault is a cultural researcher. Chomsky is a language researcher. In other words, Foucault's interest lies in the history of scientific language, while Chomsky's interest lies in the daily language we use. It is interesting, and maybe also not coincidental, that the debate between these two thinkers only really gets exciting in the second half when they start discussing politics. Still, I believe it is good that this is preceded by a theoretical part. This is because, in any discussion about philosophy and society, what matters are not the political standpoints certain thinkers happen to take, but rather on the basis of which arguments they do so.
Het is misschien ook wel leuk dat deze discussie plaatsvond in de hal van het
It might be nice to note that this discussion took place in the auditorium of the Technical College of Eindhoven. A discussion between two philosophers, two researchers whose work is characterized by great precision, great detail, and also great clarity. Further, I thought it quite symbolic that it took place in a space with lots of glass. The inner and outer world blended together. During the broadcast, you could see the traffic outside passing by. Symbolic indeed, because the relationship between the inner and outer world is central to the first half of the fourth philosopher's debate about human nature and the ideal society.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome at the fourth debate of the International Philosophers Project. Tonight's debaters are Mr. Michel Foucault of the Collège de France and Mr. Noam Chomsky of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Both philosophers have points in common and points of difference. Perhaps the best way to compare both philosophers is to look at them as mountain diggers working at the opposite sides of the same mountains with different tools without knowing even if they are working in each other's direction. All learning concerning man, ranging from history to linguistics and psychology, are faced with the question whether in the last instance we are the product of all kinds of external factors, or if, in spite of our differences, we have something we could call a common human nature, by which we can call each other human beings. So my first question is to Mr. Chomsky.